What's good, YouTube? It's Rico here. I've got a deck profile for Metalfoes post Invasion Vengeance. Obviously, that came out, or that set came out like several weeks ago. I was originally gonna get this out a couple weeks ago, like shortly after the set officially dropped. It got delayed for a variety of reasons. The first one was I ordered the cards and they didn't come in as quickly as I had hoped. And then they came in, and the following day I got an extremely bad case of food poisoning and was definitely in no fit state to do anything. And then the week following, I was gonna at that point, after I'd gotten sick, I decided I was just gonna wait until I took it to a local and played it. I didn't go to my local that week, just wasn't able to, and then so that delayed it for another week, which brings me to tonight, where I finally took it to locals, and I went undefeated. It was 4 rounds. I played 2 ABCs, a Frogyazoic, and I played my friend who was also playing Metalfoes. So 2 ABCs, Frogyazoic, and Mirror. They all went to game 3, but the deck performed really well. I was very satisfied with it. I don't know if I would say it's standard. It's mostly standard, but I'm doing some things that I guess would be considered old-fashioned, not really in favor anymore, but I disagree for a variety of reasons, and I think some cards that are falling out of favor for whatever reason are still good. So, but yeah, I'll get into that with that one. So let's get into it. There we go. Okay. So for monsters, you run 3 gold driver, 3 silver, 3 stealing, 3 Volflame, and 3 Bismugear. That's standard 15 Metalfoes. I generally side 1 Bismugear out just because it's not something you want to see multiples of, but he's so good to open with that I think the trade-off is worth it. But I generally side out like 4 or 5 3-ofs, and I just cut them each to 2 when I side, and it keeps the deck consistent, but also lets me side in cards. Play 3 Bambuku, 1 Kirin, 3 Eccentric, 1 Luster, and this is where I deviate a little bit. I still play Scout and Monolith. I think these cards are still pretty good. I don't think they're insanely good, but I think their pros outweigh their cons, but I'll get a little more into this later. But Scout and Monolith were really good. 3 Gofu cards, amazing. Just the plays you can make with them are like pure blowout. And Rescue Rabbit. I'm like the last time I made the Metalfoes video, I said I was back and forth on this. Like I initially liked it on paper and hated it on practice, and then it was growing on me a little bit the more I thought about it. I like it a lot more now because the deck has a lot more fusion plays to work with. Like before you didn't really want to sit on a fusion, but now it's worth doing. So I think Rescue Rabbit's a lot better now, and he does come in handy. I think I played him once or twice today, and he was good every time I played him. That's all the monsters. It's 29. So for spells, I main 3 MST. This is effectively it does the same things that Eccentric does with the combination plays, so it makes your deck even more consistent. It outs Anti-Spell Fragrance. It just helps you push through back row. I think it's a really important card. I think it's really good. And I do like it more than Cosmic Cyclone because of the things you can do with the combination. I don't actually own Cosmic Cyclone. I'd probably cite it if I did. But I think MST does the job well enough that I don't really find myself in a need for Cosmic Cyclone. But I definitely love maining this card at 3. It's really, really good in my opinion. And I had so many hands today where they would have been brick hands if I didn't have MST, and they just turned into playable hands. It's so amazing. 3 decision. I don't know why people only play 2 of this. It's a searcher. It loads your grave through Mythrilium. It's so many things about this card are just perfect. And 3 Summoner's Art. So this is the reason I still play Scout Monolith. It's not really because of Cyber Dragon Infinity. It's because I can max out Summoner's Art. Because this is another consistency card. It's effectively 3 more copies of Volflame. But it can also be a power card if you run the Cleese. So if you open if you open a hand where you don't have enough Metalfoes, but you have Summoner's Art, you can search out the Volflame, and especially if you already opened a different power card, like Gofu or the Magispectors. But if you do open a bunch of Metalfoes and you open Summoner's Art, but you don't really have a power play, which happened to me today, you can just search Scout and you get a strong board with Cyberdying Infinity. So, like, Cyberdying Infinity, like, he's not super good, especially, like, by himself, he's really weak. But when he's backed up by something like Alcahest or Unicorn, he's still really good. And, like, he's really hard to deal with, so, yeah, I love Summoner's Art, and I'm not playing Product Desires because I don't have it, and honestly, I don't really care for it in this deck, because there are a bunch of, like, cards in the deck I really don't want to banish, and, like, it's not a terrible card in the deck, it's actually probably a pretty good card, but I don't think it's necessary or, like, game-changing. And I definitely have very little consistency issues by not playing it. And also, when we get Raging Tempest, I'm probably going to switch to the Zodiac build. Wow, that's a really stupid name now when I say it out loud. Yeah, I'm going to switch to that build that uses, like, Marmorat and stuff, and that build doesn't play Desires because you don't want to banish any of your Marmorats. So, yeah, I don't really miss Desires all that much, to be honest. I really like Summoner's Art, and that's the reason I still play the Cleese. And then the last 4 cards in the deck are Fusion, Full Fusion, Combination, and Counter. I play one of each. Considering playing the second Full Metal Fusion, but I don't really like focusing on the new fusions too much. Like, they're good, but I feel like that makes the deck a little more predictable, as opposed to, like, I think the deck's biggest advantage, aside from its grind game, is its flexibility. And really, there was only one situation where I found myself wanting the second copy of the Full Metalfoes Fusion. It got banished by an ABC, but at the same time, I was so behind in that game anyway that I had lost regardless. So, it didn't really matter. Yeah, I don't know why people are cutting counter. Even, like, the one-of is so good. This has saved me so many games. This one match against the first ABC player, because it was in my graveyard in Game 3, and we were in time. And, like, I just banished it, put a scale in my hand, and, like, he had no way to stop the pendulum summon, and I won. And then people, like, people forget I had it, and then they swung into it, and I flipped it, and I got board presence, and counter's still really good. So I don't know, like, I guess people are cutting it because these are more important, and people want to run the second fusion, but I think the counter is more important than the second fusion, so. Yeah. Oh god, sorry for the coughing fit. I think I had a cold earlier this week and I'm still getting over it, but my house is also freezing. Yeah, this is the entire main deck. It's 42. I didn't run, like, these were the only traps I ran. I didn't run Strike or Warning or, like, Dimensional Barrier because I don't have any of those aside from Warning. But I don't like them because they're not combo pieces, and as long as this deck is able to play its game and get its board set up, it can pretty much outgrind any deck in the game except maybe Frogyazoic, which is honestly the matchup I'm most afraid of. The one trap card I was considering running and eventually cut was Vanity's Emptiness, because it's just a blowout if you're able to keep it up, but it clashes with Full Metal Fusion. And really, like, the fact that it's not a combo piece kind of conflicts with things, so I think it would have been nice to have, but I didn't really find myself missing it a lot. So I ended up just cutting Vanities because it was the 43rd card, and I wanted to cut down to 42, so, yeah. I think Metalfoes can go above 42, but I think at that point you should probably be running Desires to circumvent it, and I'm not, so I just stick with 42. Alright, so extra deck, we played 2 Mithrilium and 1 Alcahest. I know 3-2 is the common one, but that's people are running 2 Metalfoes Fusion for stuff like that. I never really found myself in a situation where I wanted more of these. Yeah, like, they're useful in the grind game, but a lot of the times I don't really find myself needing to, and I shuffled Alcahest back a lot, so that really never came up. I never found a situation where I needed to go into a 3rd Mithrilium. The games just really didn't last that long, or I had another option, so. 1 Orichalc, 1 Adamantine. I'm still playing Zulkin, which I still think is really good, but even if I wasn't, I'd probably still run the Adamantine because it comes up sometimes. Yeah. And Ignister, Omega, Crystal Wing, Zulkin. These all came up at some point today. I actually summoned Zulkin twice. The first time I summoned it with, it was like Zulkin, Crystal Wing, Infinity, and Unicorn, like Kieran, and he managed to break it because he had like the ways to bait my Infinity and like the Kieran, and or no, it wasn't Kieran, it was Alcahist. He managed to bait the Alcahist and the Infinity, and then he Raigeki me. And like I didn't really have a way around it. Like I discussed it with him like afterwards, and he was like, "Yeah, I had the way out either way." So, but the other time I made it was in the mirror against my friend, and it won. It probably still had me won the game. Like the Zulkin play, I think only comes up like 12% of the time, so like 1 in every 8 games. But so it sounds situational, but the things I'd put in their place are like either like more situational rank 4s or like situational synchros like 6, 7, 9. So I'd put in like Metalfoes, Horrors, Black Rose, and Vermilion Mech Dragon, and like I don't really find myself needing those. Like those come up way less than the Zulkin play does, especially with like you're effectively running 21 Metalfoes, but the 15 Metalfoes, the 3 Summoners Art, and the 3 Painful Decision. It's not hard to get to play with Gofu, and like it's such a strong play when you get it, because Crystal Wing is still a really good card. And Zulkin's even more threatening, because if they can't get rid of the Zulkin, they pretty much lose there, because you're just going to drop Nista the next turn. So yeah. I really like it. Omega, I think, came up once or twice. It was good. It wasn't game-breaking, but it wasn't terrible. I liked it. He put in work. But yeah. And then for Xyz, it's Infinity, Nova, Utopia Lightning, Utopia, Castel, Grand Pulse. I think Castel's the only one I didn't make. I only ranked forward once, and I went into Utopia. So, yeah. These are standard. This would be Break Sword if I had one, but it fulfills effectively the same role. It's just weaker. Yeah. And then side deck. 2 Gamma Seal. I played this over Humongous because of Froggy Zoic and the fact that they play Barrier Statue of the Torrent, and this outs it and Humongous doesn't. And really the main advantage Humongous had was that you could Pendulum Summon it if you needed to. So then you could make like a Big Eye play, but without Big Eye I don't really think that's a relevant point. And like if you're in a situation where you have to Pendulum a Kaiju, or like you're probably in a really bad situation anyway, and like Gamma Steel being level 8, honestly, I don't think is very relevant, because that's only relevant against Blue Eyes, and Blue Eyes is like almost non-existent right now, because it just loses to ABC. So like, I don't know. I think Gamma Seal is better than Humongous now, because like Humongous, like its advantages are so marginal in my opinion, and Gamma Seal at least outs a Floodgate monster that's probably going to be backed up by like 500 trap cards, so I really only side this for like Froggy Zoic and like heroes. I don't even side this against ABC anymore. I don't side it in the mirror, so it's only went in once today, and I didn't see it. So 2 Max C. I quite honestly don't know what I'm siding this for. I tried it going second against Froggy Zoic, didn't see it. I don't think I actually like it all that much. I don't side it against going against Metalfoes or ABC. So like honestly, I think I do side against Metalfoes, that's not for the main reason. Like I don't know, I just kind of keep it in because like it just feels wrong not to play Maxi in some way. But I guess I would side it against Mermail. So there we go. But I also play Retaliating C. So against Metalfoes, I'll side in both of these because I want Retaliating C, but then if they kill it, I can at least get Max C. So I'd either like side 3 on 1, or I'd like to just side all 5 of them. But I sided Retaliating C against my friend in the mirror. Didn't see it, so I have no idea how good it actually is. On paper, it seems like a blowout, but I can't say for sure because I didn't see it. So, and then Sidewalker. I fucking love this card. This card was super fucking clutch. Against the second ABC player I played, I won partly because he had Tsukuyomi, and then like the post board of A, B, and C were all on the board, and then C was equipped to the B. I summoned Sidewalker, or I kept a Pendulum into Infinity and Sidewalker. I call B, and he can't do anything because card cannot be used, so it can't be normal summoner, so it can't be special summoned. He can't attack with it. He can't activate any of its effects. Any of its effects on the field are negated. He can't use it as Synchro Xyz or Fusion Material, so he couldn't make ABC. He couldn't Xyz with it, and like it hindered his play so much that I just threw it in my favor. Like the best he was able to do was use Torque Tune Gear to make Scarlight, hopefully burn me for enough where I couldn't fight back, and then I was able to, and I won. But the fact that I blocked him out of any bee searching and Dragon Buster was incredible. So, yeah. I love this card. I also sided against Frogyozoic just because like it's a way to dodge strike. It has anti-spell fragrance. So, and then 3 system down for ABC, obviously, and then 3 Royal Decree. This was also for Frogyozoic. I don't have Denko Sekka, and quite honestly, I don't think I would like it in this deck because it locked you out of your Metalfoes effects, which I think are very important. So I'd like this going first against Frogyozoic. I was originally going to do Jinzo, but it turns out that most Frogyozoic decks are in fact playing Solid Strike, which initially I wasn't sure would happen. But Strike shits on Jinzo, so I just went with Royal Decree instead. I sided this going first against a Frogyozoic player and didn't see it, but I won anyway, so. And that's the entire deck. I like it. It performed well. I don't really have any complaints with it. I like it the way it is. I maybe rework some side stuff, but overall, the main was great. I liked it. Extra was fine. The only thing the extra that really never came up was the Castell. Everything else showed up at least once. So yeah. And yeah, that's about it. So next video will be whenever I have another deck profile update. Like, I guess I could update ABC, but I haven't been playing it. All I did was add like a Tortune gear so I can play Trishula and Scarlight in it, which is cute, I guess. Oh, I went back to Brilliant Fusion just because I think it's better that way, but whatever. Alright. Thanks for watching YouTube. See you next time, deuces.